Where's my Hunters fans at? We need a new season, honestly. It's been way too long.
Just read the manga.
No, I do not want to read the manga, okay? Leave me alone. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Kenny Tarot YouTube channel. And if you are new here, please, what are you waiting for? Just join the family already. But I hope you guys have been doing well. Hope you guys have been doing amazing. Let's get into this video topic because it's necessary. The video topic is entitled, what is your toxic trait? Now, before you guys get all crazy and be like, why is he focusing on toxicity? Why is he focusing on negativity? Not exactly. Now, the toxic trait, that type of topic it's named that way, but it's usually a very popular, and it usually is in jest. However, there is a more deeper meaning to that. A toxic trait is something that we all have that could possibly be somewhat of a hindrance to maybe our growth, or maybe it could be a reason as to why we maybe follow the same type of pattern. And basically, it's just something that that we could possibly tweak a little bit, or maybe just change or eliminate all completely in order for us to be just better individuals or just better soul beings. So please do not take offense to this reading at all. Like, for example, my toxic trait could be, I can never say no to people. That could be considered a toxic trait as well. That's not my real toxic trait because I don't have any qualms. Like, I have no problem saying no, but I'm just using that as an example. But whatever spirit likes to highlight for you specifically, it's going to be from a loving place, of course, but also something that you could probably be aware of in order for you to grow and progress, because this is what it's about. This is about this experience. And so I thought this would be an interesting reading, and hopefully you guys are interested in it as well. If something is pointed out that you don't necessarily agree with, do not shoot me. I'm just a messenger. Okay. So with that being said, you guys, please choose from these piles. We have pile number 1 with the crystal quartz, pile number 2 with the solid delight. We also have pile number 3, black tourmaline, pile number 4 with the green adventuring stone. So please choose your intuition and not your eyes, and I will catch you at your reading. What is up, pile number 1? This is for those who picked the clear quartz crystal. We're about to find out what is your toxic trait. The cards that they gave us are the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords in reverse, Page of Wands. The story is already playing out in my head. We also have the this is also the Six of Wands, victory and success. We have literally the quite opposite of that, which is failure. We have the Spider, creative projects. We also have Angel of Love. We also have Helpful Person. And this card I will get into later. Pile number 1. I just want to hug you, first and foremost. Only because they're telling me what you are on a soul level. And so what's happening is that it's almost as if you have no concept, or you do, because you're obviously an adult living in this world. But what I mean is that it's almost as if people who you maybe do bad things to other people or say bad things to other people, like stuff like that, is almost a foreign concept to you a lot of times. Sometimes you're so shocked, and maybe other people be like, why are you tripping? Like, this is just how the world works. This is just how the world always been. But the reason why you may feel that way is because you are coming across as like an incarnate angel, like someone who, you know, snuck out of heaven, not literally snuck out of heaven, but more so like was an angel who decided to come and experience this for whatever reason. But what I mean is that the toxic trait is coming across as someone who is extremely generous, someone who is very much so. Also, what's coming across as well, I see protection as well. I think you are someone who gets quite protective. It comes across as overbearing, but it's really out of love. And I also see someone who, and this is when the toxic, it's not really, be clear you guys, when I say toxic, it's not necessarily, it's just to make a trendy ass title, but really why it's becoming toxic is because I almost see that a lot of times you guys tend to care about a lot of people more so than you care about yourself, which is a great trait to have in some sense, but it's one of those cases where, like, for example, if you weren't doing too well, you still would bend over backwards for other people, even if you like were in, you know, on your deathbed, or even, you know, sick, where you need extensive care. You need to really take care of your own self. I'm also seeing that there's some cases in which some people may even be in this group who experience relationships or friendships in which you've been taken advantage of, or people have been taking you for granted, things like that. And so I think the only way that we can tweak this a little bit is so that maybe Spirit is going to suggest, what I feel like they're going to do is really discernment, and also just a balance of that, okay? But this is definitely not something that I feel you can change entirely. It just needs to be a little bit tweaked, because we are in the physical realm, which with many different types of individual souls, and we just need to adjust, okay? So with that being said, let's begin. We have the Queen of Pentacles. This is the generous nature. This is the mama bear, papa bear. Especially if you come across people who are young, like maybe not in age, but maybe just have a youthful spirit and you just want to protect them. That's a role that you assume a lot. I also feel like could be for those of you guys who have a group of friends. You could be considered like the mom of the group, or the parent of the group, the DD, things like that. But it's really like a position in which you assume because people rely on you, people depend on you. But a lot of times what happens when it gets overboard is people tend to just do the most. You know, you give them an inch, they take the whole damn football yard, you know what I mean? Or the football field. So that's where Spirit is also trying to highlight for you. Okay. But yeah, this is actually, I mean, I love the people who embody this type of energy. But yet, this type of light, you will tend to attract those who don't necessarily have your best interests in mind. We also have the Nine of Swords in reverse. I really feel like you take on the burdens of other people as well. You definitely take on the burdens of other people. Yeah, and it's like you have your own mission, or you have your own plans as far as why you came here. Like, you have your own life. Part of the plan I'm sensing is to make it, I kind of feel like it's also to really show people, you know, unconditional love. But I do get the sense that you also have your life that you want to live, but oftentimes you almost sacrifice. It's just very self-sacrificial. Like, you'll sacrifice your own energy, your own plans. And I'm sure if it came down to it, you probably would go to extreme lengths to show someone a great deal of love, you know what I mean? But yeah, the Nine of Swords in reverse, for me, it's coming across as trying to, or really just taking on the burdens of others, to where a lot of times you may worry about other people and maybe even try to alleviate their issues and things like that. I find you to be extremely helpful, but this is the type of help in which, like, sometimes people, some people got to learn things their own self, their own way. Some people have their own journey, but the things that you're doing is not, it's coming from a great place. You're not meant to hurt, you're not trying to harm anybody, you're not trying to offend. But it's almost the spirit is trying to give you this advice in order to protect yourself. Now we also have Page of Wands. So once again, I do get the sense that for some reason I feel like you're connected also with maybe children or just people who are youthful, and you tend to assume the role of protector, guardian. I also get the sense that a lot of times you guys tend to forget that, and I get the sense that you tend to worry about other people a lot, or you tend to take the burdens of other people a lot, that you tend to have fun for yourself as well. This is also for those of you guys who are maybe, I don't want to say it's a burden, but sometimes you do have family members who need assistance, and sometimes you have to have a responsibility to be at their beck and call or things like that. You don't really have time to live for yourself. This is really spirit reminding you to do just that, to really sometimes take the necessary breaks, take the necessary moments to enjoy life for yourself. Now let's talk about this really quick, because the message that they gave me, we need to talk about this. Pile number one. We have the Six of Wands, victory and success. I don't know why they're giving me the specific message, but I'm going to say it anyways. This is for my group who, they're using my own examples, but I'm not going to get that personal. But this is for those people who, for example, when, let's just say you had a friend, right? You had a friend who was very much excited that they booked a new job, their birthdays, any type of celebration about that your friend wants to celebrate. You're there. You're there with your gift. You're there trying to set up the event. You're doing all these, you're showing all this gratitude, or not gratitude, but showing all this love and just doing what you should be doing as a friend, I guess. But when it comes time for your accomplishments, when it comes time for your own achievements or birthday, you don't get that in return. I'm also getting the sense that for you guys, you have, there's also other goals that you have to achieve, and a lot of times you get sidetracked because you're too busy focusing on other things and other people, mostly other people. I'm getting. It's like you have your own life, and it's time to start living it. I'm also getting with the failure card. What tends to happen is that it's like you're willing to forego anything that you got going in your life for the sake of others. And although that's something that that's something that should be admirable, once again, Spirit wants to remind you that you also have, a life of your own. You also have, a story of your own that doesn't necessarily only involve helping others. I'm seeing for some people, they're willing to drop out of school for someone, miss work, which honestly, if you're gonna miss work because you want to have a spa day, miss work because you decided that you wanted to stay in bed. Don't miss work because somebody else needed your help. Like, maybe sometimes, but they're giving me the sense that this is a regular. Like, people can always count on you. And it's almost as if people don't necessarily have really much regard about what's going on in your life, but you have all the concern in the world for everything that's happening in their life. And I'm almost getting the sense that people don't necessarily, like, people are more apathetic, or maybe just oblivious, but they probably just, most people that you are surrounding yourself don't really care as much as you do. And I don't know if that will ever be possible, but I just feel like the attempt should still be made, Now we also have the Spider creative projects. Yeah, you guys, listen up, pal number one. I think I've mentioned this before when I said, I don't know which reading it was, what topic it was, but I think I mentioned before, when it comes to your bag, when it comes to the pesos, the dinero, the pounds, the shillings, when it comes to your pocket, your wallet, your bag, no one should be in your way. Don't allow anyone to keep you off track from getting that bag. There's something here as far as your career or as far as your own talents that you actually need that Spirit is trying to get you to invest your energy in. This could be career, education, or your own business, something of that nature. And it's almost as if your talents and your abilities, or just your energy in general is better used in other places as well. They're not saying completely cut off all ties with everyone that you know. But what they are saying is that there needs to be a balance, and right now it doesn't seem like there's something that you're neglecting to give attention to. Only you guys would know what that is. For some of you guys, I am getting education. For others of you guys, I'm getting career, like your job. And for others of you guys, there is a whole entire future that you need to see when it comes to your own achievements. And right now, the progression is being, it's not halted, but it's just it's slowing down a little bit because you're not necessarily investing enough energy into yourself. It's like you've got your arms like a spider, or legs or feet, whatever these are, in everybody else's business, or not everybody else, like too many places except yourself. So the next card though, and this is just a confirmation. I already knew what was happening, but the Angel of Love card here is really you. I don't know if this is something that's been happening lately, but for some reason I've been doing a lot of these readings and I've been coming into contact with people who have this angel-like energy. And there's been many readings that I've been doing that I'm just like, it's like a lot of times I don't want to say it because it's just like, maybe it freaks people out, or maybe it's just unbelievable. And, but this is one of those cases where I'm going to double down and say, yeah, I do believe you're a literal angel on earth. If you guys have Patreon, if you guys ever visit my Patreon, I do have a video topic describing incarnate angels, and I go into details about what that is and things like that. So it's a topic that I'm actually very much interested in and also knowledgeable in. And so I'm honored that you're here. But at the same time, we gotta protect ourselves. I'm sorry. You have an amazing light, but we do need to protect ourselves. This is the physical world, baby. You're not in the angelic realm right now. Okay. The next card that we have is helpful person, which is what you are. I'm getting someone who's too helpful, too nice, we just need a balance. That's it. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to take time for yourself. And if anyone has a problem with that, then that should also let you know who's really here for you. That should also let you know who you need to cut off. Okay. So that will be a hint for you. Yeah. The last card that we have is dun dun dun. I know I've gone too long back. What did we say? We said, don't let nobody stop your bag. Quit playing. It says something important such as a new job or a raise. It's not funny, pile number one, okay? This is what I've been talking about. You will be successful in whatever career path that you're currently interested in or exploring. You will be successful in it. And if you are currently pursuing a career and you've been wondering why the hell nothing's happening, baby, we're gonna have to shift our focus a little bit. And it's okay to be selfish. This is Spirit really trying to, it's not even giving you permission, just let you be aware that you can be selfish. In fact, that's what we encourage you should do. Yeah, there is something coming, or at least more progression on your current career path coming. Okay, it just needed more attention from you, more energy, more of your devotion. So with that being said, pile number one, I mean, this is about, I think this is going to be probably the prettiest of the toxic traits of the piles. So yeah, hopefully the message was loud and clear. You're amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully, yeah, if you're so inclined, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you next time. Bye. What is up, pile number two? This is for those who picked the Salt Delight Stone. We're about to find out what is your toxic trait. The cards that they gave us are Ace of Cups. We also have the Nine of Cups in reverse. We have the Two of Wands in reverse. We have number 3, Solar Plexus Chakra. We have Friendship. We have the Fiery Fairy. Storm Warning, number 10. We have Treasure Chest. And this card that we'll get into later. I already know that if there's any dislikes on this video, it's gonna come from this pile. But it's really not bad, but it's something that I have to mention. Absolutely have to mention. So here's the story. Pile number 2. It comes across that you have it's coming across as hopeless romantic one. It's coming across as someone who is always longing for, or at least you have a strong desire to be in a relationship, whether it's the one or whether it's just your spouse or just meeting your soulmate. There's a strong desire for that. And just to let you know, it's no coincidence as to why that is, because you are meant to experience that. There's a special connection that you're meant to experience in this lifetime. Absolutely. However, the reason why their spirit is considering this to be toxic is because what's happening is that a lot of you guys are neglecting other important bonds and other important connections and other friendships, like the card says, that we're going to get into later, but other types of relationships that are deserving of your attention or deserving of your or your enjoyment. This is, yes, romance is lovely, but if there's one thing that I'm always going to say, especially like when it comes to friends, platonic relationships are very much important, and a lot of times they could be maybe even more important than romantic relationships. So with you, it's more so like saying like, yo, there's so many other relationships and connections that you are in the midst of, or at least you used to be wanting, that has nothing to do with romance, but will still be beneficial and still be a connection that you're grateful and blessed to have. So, let's begin. Ace of Cups. By the way, and I hate that they're making me say this because I don't want to get you too hype because I think it's just going to maybe worsen the condition. But I do get the sense that if you are single, I do get the sense that the person that you're going to be with, that's a very significant soulmate, is not too far away. As in, the encounter should be happening soon for you. But still, the message still applies, okay? But the Ace of Cups, I'm really getting someone who has just a lot of love to give, which is you. A lot of love to give, and just needs a recipient. And I think there is somebody out there who will share the same sentiment. But here's the thing: it's almost as if I'm scared to be alone, or I'm scared to be lonely, is what they're making me feel as well. This could potentially highlight maybe some issues that have yet to be unpacked from your own past. Maybe there's some abandonment issues, being neglected, or maybe never actually being experiencing love in a healthy way, which maybe has in turn brought the desire to be in a relationship or to experience romantic relationship a lot more strongly. Now, I'm not no psychiatrist, I'm not none of that, I'm only a vessel for spirit, so I'm not diagnosing you, anything like that, but that's what they're making me feel, is that there's maybe a 3D physical explanation as to why this is occurring, but I just want to also reiterate the point that there's nothing wrong with you. There is also a spiritual reason as to why you're feeling this way as well, which we already mentioned. But yeah, I'm getting hopeless romantic who maybe even, this is for those who maybe always felt the need to be in a relationship, like maybe when it comes to being single, it's very tough for you to do. And oftentimes we're going to find ourselves in relationships that, that don't amount to much, because it's not necessarily about quality, really. It's probably about more so like, let me just be in something because I don't want to be alone. Another thing that they're making me feel, and maybe a few of you guys can relate to this, like for example, you know how in high school for some reason, or just maybe middle school as well, maybe high school more, in which it was like maybe like you had to have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like if you didn't, then you weren't cool, something like that. I know that sounds juvenile as I said that, but experiences like that could still have long-lasting effects. You know what I mean? And sometimes we could still follow that pattern even after years and years after we've grown up. Like, this could be for people who maybe didn't necessarily have that type of experience, like where they were, whether it felt attracted or whether they felt wanted by, I guess, other people around their age or peers. The next card that we have is Nine of Cups in reverse. You've been manifesting like crazy. That's the thing. But I'm also getting the frustration side about it as well. I see a lot of you guys, maybe you guys watch a lot of these pick a card readings and ignored all the career and all the self-help type of readings, and I'm surprised you're even watching this one. But I think divine timing is definitely at play in your love life. They're not really telling me much about that, nor the person that's coming through. But I do believe there could be a lesson in this. And I do believe it has to do with your own independence. However, the Nine of Cups also indicates that there is a wish that's going to be granted to you. However, the timing that it's going to take may not necessarily be what you would consider to be ideal, nor it may manifest in a way that's completely unexpected or just different than you have imagined. So the advice here is really to allow the universe to just do its thing. That's it. Like, there's nothing else that you can do. But at the same time, if you are going to do something, there's other things that we can focus on, such as the relationships and the friendships and the connections that we have already established as it is. And if not, we can also focus on our career. But the point of manifesting is to really manifest and just let it go. Don't put too much extra effort or extra energy or extra thought into it. We also have the Two of Wands in reverse. I'm getting, there's a whole, like, they're making me feel like what you have envisioned for yourself when it comes to relationships and partnerships. I really don't like to say this, but if you guys identify with the twin flame thing, this is something that's very likely going to happen for you, because they're showing me images as well that would indicate that. But I'm also getting the strong urge to say that a lot of you guys need to be in love with yourself, as far as the independent version of yourself, prior to getting into a relationship. There's a lesson that needs to be learned here during this time before this connection comes through. But I also want to say that some of you guys haven't envisioned such I almost see like a power couple. I'm also seeing like traveling together. Like there's a specific idea of a partnership that you really do desire, that maybe it's almost as if there's nothing around you that resembles this. It's almost as if you don't feel like it's worthy of your time. But like I said, there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of connections that you're going to, be involved in, or just come into, or to experience within, and they should also be viewed highly. They should also be, viewed with an open mind, and see what is it that you can benefit or learn from as well. But I am getting a very significant partnership that's going to be a part of your incarnation, and it's like a big soulmate, or it could also be a twin flame. We also have the number 3, solar plexus chakra. Now they're making me feel like self-esteem and confidence is playing a part. They're making me go back to the high school example. I do feel like there could be maybe a psychological reason as to why you maybe feel the need to always be in a relationship, or maybe you have a strong desire to be in a relationship. I do feel like for some of you guys, it has to do with feeling wanted. Because if you maybe spend time alone or maybe are single, it somehow translates to not being wanted. And this is something that I'm for sure your spirit team is trying to help with. And I'm sure this is exactly what your soul is trying. There's a reason why you're experiencing this. For a lot of you guys who are watching this, you may be single as you are watching this. There's a reason behind that as well. It's not punishment. Now we also have friendship, which I love. I need to make another video, by the way, that's dedicated to friendship. I love doing topics on friendships because it's so important, and a lot of people fail to realize that, or at least become oblivious. Like, especially, this is for those as well who get into relationships, and it's like you have a whole group of friends, right? The moment you get into relationships, you completely ignore them. You completely disregard, any type of, hangouts with them. Like, you completely, it's like, it's just me and my partner, my romantic partner. Everybody else is non-existent until maybe you guys broke up. And baby, if that's something that you do, you know you're wrong for that. I'm sorry, you know you're wrong for that. But this is just really saying that there's a need to really find the importance of friendships. This is extremely important. And this is something that you should also focus on as well. I'm telling you, a lot of times I find to be friendships should be something that you sometimes prioritize in life. Now, of course, if you're in a relationship, sometimes, and most times actually, the relationship will take precedent. But at the same time, you still got to remember, who was there before, this partner came into the picture. Well, let's not do that. Let's not forget. Now, we also have the fiery fairy, and it says creative action optimism. Like I said, there's a burning desire to really want to be in a relationship, or really want to find the one or a soulmate. And like I said, this is spirit validating that to let you know that you're not crazy. There's a reason behind that. There is a special connection that you're going to be experiencing in this lifetime. And for this group, it really feels like there's a void here that you've always had. It's not to say that, what is being described will completely fill that void, but what they are saying is that it's almost as if something, this is not the only thing that you should strive for in order to feel fulfillment. There's other things, such as friendships, maybe such as career, such as things that have only to do with yourself as well. I almost feel like maybe just recently you also felt, it's like almost you feel it, the desire getting a lot stronger. That's why I can say that I think the person that you're going to be with is not too far away. Because I almost feel like it's the feeling is almost hard to ignore. The thought is always hard to ignore. But you're going to have to still pay attention to the other connections and friendships and the other bonds that you have as well. And I hope that if career is is in your, if you do have a career or a job, I hope that you're not ignoring that. Let's not be crazy now. The next card that we have is number 10, Storm Warning. Yeah, this is a cycle for you that's currently on the end. It was hard for you guys. It was hard to be, whether it's single or whether it's to not be with the person that you love or the person that you're going to love. But life is still fulfilling without that, is what Spirit is trying to make you realize. And one of the ways is by way of other connections, especially the platonic ones. But overall, yeah, this is coming to a close. The hard part, this is probably going to be the hardest part, because I get that. I'm not going to give you guys an exact time frame, but I will say, because they are giving like some type of time frame, but I'll say I don't think it's far away. I'll just say that. I know y'all like, really, Kenny? Yeah, really. The next card that we have is Treasure Chest. And it says, an unforeseen windfall of new abundance comes to you now. So, by the way, for some of you guys, there's going to be something that's going to happen that's going to really take your attention away from you just for a bit. Because that relationship, that love relationship that you are due for, is going to happen very spontaneously, unexpectedly, when you're distracted by something else, which could be your other connection. And for other guys, I do see there's going to be maybe a booming career or a job that really gives you the material type of abundance that you've probably been wanting. And for others, you got this treasure chest card could really just see the value in the connection that you already have, and also see the value in life as it is now. Okay. Yeah. The last card that we have is Moon. Changes in your life. Once again, we're talking about cycles here. You're completing a cycle as we speak. The next cycle is, the theme about the next cycle will be romantic love, absolutely. But in the meantime, baby, there's still a lot more to life that you could still be appreciative of and still really feel fulfilled from, especially when it comes to the platonic relationships. So we have to remember that as well, okay? So that's the only reason why it's coming as toxic, is because they're almost like, yo, life is still good. You know, there's still beautiful things about life besides romance. We have to remember that. So, pile number 2. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope you don't hate me too much, but it needed to be said. So if you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I will catch you next time. Bye. What is up? Pile number 3. We're about to find out what is your toxic trait. This is for those who picked the Black Turbulent Stone. The cards that they gave us are the Judgment card. We have the Devil card. We also have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Number 2, Sacral Chakra. We have Judgment. We have the Goblin, the Wounded Human Ego. We have number 28, Victory. We have Dream Big. And this card I will get into later. Pile number 3. We need to talk. So this is coming. So there's a concept that they're making me think about. The concept is called the chameleon effect, and what the chameleon effect is described as is like, for example, if let's just say you were a hardworking person, right? But then I came across you and I'll be like, you know what, you're lazy. And before me saying that, you always knew that you were a hardworking person, but after me saying that, you almost question yourself, and then you start to assume, or at least display, attributes and characteristics of that of a lazy person. And in actuality, that's not actually who you are. And to be honest, what I'm describing is a form of gaslighting as well. And so, this is called, it is a form of gaslighting, but that's what they're making me feel like. It's almost as if I forgot who I am. Like, you're a bad beep. Like, what's not clicking is what your spirit team is like. So with you have a spirit team who are kind of very much, they have the personality in which they don't take no mess. They're pretty bold. They're pretty like tough love type of thing. And you're the same way too. And some of you guys may ask, I'm not like that, but that's who you are on a soul level. And so it's only a matter of time before both your soul and your human ego aligned. But this is what it's happening, and this is why they're considering this to be toxic. It's because it's almost like you forgot who you were. Like, before you came into this incarnation, you were a bad beep, or you were that girl, that dude, or that person. But now it's like you forgot all that. You lack confidence. You lack self-esteem. You take your doormat. Things like that. But it's not entirely your fault. Let's begin. We have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is nice because this is telling me that you guys are due for a transformation, and you guys will make this transformation. The transformation in question is obviously one that is a little bit more unapologetic as far as, and this is not, I'm not saying rude, but it's more so, someone who is going to be bold, someone who's going to be daring, someone who's going to be, wanting to really strive for what they want, get what they want, and without, the opinions of others, or at least not be affected by the opinions of others, and to really just be that person. Because I'm getting like queenly, royal energy with you, like, while everyone else is peasants. You know what I mean? Okay, let's bring it down a notch. Like, we're not trying to make it seem like you should feel condescending, or you should be condescending to others, but that's how they're making me feel. It's almost as if like you've been living this whole entire time, almost like you've been told that you were less than, or maybe experiences in which you felt less than, or you felt under, not valued, you felt underappreciated, you felt not beautiful, you felt not special, like things like that. That's about to change, especially in this incarnation. I'm not sure if this is going to be a video that does it. However, if it's not going to be this video, it's definitely going to be a specific experience that you have, and it's going to be with a person. The person is coming across like a father figure, but doesn't have to be. It could just be someone who their intentions is coming from a place of love, but the point is, it's kind of distorted. Sorry, but it's it's meant to make you realize I deserve better. I am better. That's what it's supposed to be. And that has yet to happen. This is for my groups who find themselves always being, ending up with the same type of person when they're dating. Because there's a pattern that we need to kind of nip in the bud. And that's the reason. We have the Devil card here. They're making me feel like there is going to be maybe something that occurs. Like this is like a connection that I feel. And whether it's family member or maybe a specific partner, I do get the sense that it's something that you have to overcome, in the sense that you have to come out of this like a phoenix. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be the easiest to deal with. But the point is, the results will be very transformative for you. Especially if this is a family member. Like, for example, if this is a parent who maybe has never really made you feel like you were worthy, like that. There is going to be a time where you realize that you are worthy, and it may be by way of something intense that happens. But like I said, it's not meant to hurt you. But the point is, it's really meant to kind of remind you that, you are a king, you are a queen, like that. Yeah. Your spirit team is almost saying like, wake up, like wake up. So, the next card that we have is Queen of Wands. In reverse. This is who you're supposed to be. Upright. Which is that bold, daring, carefree, vivacious, courageous, someone who goes after what they want. This is unique quality. This is someone who is attractive as well. This is also alluring sexiness as well. This is your energy on a soul level, and this is something that has yet to translate to the ego, the physical vessel that you possess, but this is what your spirit team is trying to usher in. But this is in the position that it's in now, and it's almost as if you're blinded by this fact. But like I said, it's not entirely your fault. They're making me feel like there's been external factors, or just people who's been around you that has been, effectively, making you forget that you are someone who is like you're royalty, pretty much is what they're saying. But the point is, you are deserving of more. You are worth more. You're valued. You're beautiful. You're sexy. All these things. And I feel like you maybe constantly experience people telling you otherwise, and you've kind of assumed that role because that's all you ever know. But that's not who you are. The next card that we have is number 2. This is Sacral Chakra. Once again, this is the embodiment of the Queen of Wands energy. This is that fire. This is that passion. This is that, and we need this. This is something that's a little bit dim within you, but it needs to be it needs to be a whole damn torch at this point. Because right now it's a little match that's losing its flame. But yeah, once again, I'm getting your energy is coming across as someone who really exudes, who should naturally exude this confidence, exude this sexiness, exude this I feel like people should be, almost hypnotized by you, or even you come across as someone who is very magnetic, or at least that's how your soul is coming across. And that's something I feel has yet to really been showcased to its full potential, because there's a part of you that doesn't necessarily believe that that's who you are, when in actuality that is. But like I said, if you don't yet realize that now, this is something that you will realize. Absolutely. And it's when you do realize it, that flame is going to be ever so bright, to where no one can ever dim it ever again. Now we also have judgment. And this is where I'm going to have to really talk serious. I mean, I've been talking serious this whole time, but I'm going to say this. I kind of feel like you definitely, this is that, I see why they gave me that chameleon effect example. This is, you have a tendency, it feels like, to really assume the assumptions that other people may have of you. Like, for example, like I said, whether it's someone calling you something, or someone really categorizing you as something or someone, a type of person, you kind of assume that role, or you kind of just believe that that's what it is. And it really has to do with other people's opinions, other people's maybe projecting their own insecurities onto you, and you kind of just take it all on. But what would combat this is really knowing who you are, or let your spirit team say, remembering who you are. So that's what we're trying to eliminate. We have the goblin, and it says, the wounded human ego. I don't think this is your fault at all. I do believe a lot of times people do maybe even recognize this light within you. And I think maybe some people's first reaction, or maybe their initial reaction, is to somehow bring you down a notch. Like, maybe there's times where you buy this outfit and you're looking great, and you're like, damn, I look good. And then someone makes a comment just to bring you down a notch, those type of people. And it automatically, you're like, and then you tell yourself, like, you know what, I look all right. So that's what it is. And I think they described it very beautifully, or just very eloquently. But it is something that once you do realize that this is what's happening, and once you do try to remedy it, the results will just be amazing. We have the victory card here. I do find that when you do fix this, because it needs to be fixed, let's be honest, or it does need to be fixed. When you do fix this, everything else in your life, I'm talking about love, I'm talking about career, and just your own, perspective of who you are, will increase. The perspective will get, or just increase in general. Like, everything else will get better. There's a quality about you that's very magical. I don't know why they keep saying that. The Queen of Wands is typically associated with like witches and stuff like that, or just sorcery. But I do feel like it's just an indicating how unique and how special you are, and maybe this is something that has not been told to you enough. But overall, there's something that needs to happen on the inside, which is what we're describing. There's a change that needs to occur on the inside in order for pretty much everything else in your life to improve. We have dream big. Let go of small thoughts about yourself. When I pulled this card, I did not read that part. I literally did not read that part. And it says, see yourself succeeding. yeah, like I said, it feels like you spent maybe a lifetime believing you were one thing, and it wasn't based off of your own perspective, but it was based off everyone else's opinions and projections. And I also feel like for those of you guys this is for those who maybe have a particular concept or goal in mind when it comes to maybe career or just maybe you have aspirations that maybe people are like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, are you crazy? Why would you do that? Like things like that. You need to ignore those type of comments because you actually can't do that. So let's get into the last part. Let's get into the last part first, which is haystack karma. You will reap what you have sown. So they kind of confirmed for me what I initially felt about you. This is coming across. You know how there's people who always do. I'm sorry, I had to bring this up. They made me think about this. You know how there's people who they do like maybe like past life therapy or past life regression therapy, and it's always like, oh, I was a queen from the Nile, or I was a prince who was benevolent. It's always something very grand. It's never like a blind poor girl who died alone. Like, it's never something like that. But your experience here is almost saying like, no, for you actually were a queen, or you actually were a royalty. So there is a connection from this life and a past life of yours, and they're trying to remind you, is what they're saying. They're trying to remind you who you are. And unfortunately, you are in the physical world where we can be influenced, and we tend to forget, especially if it's on a soul level. And so this is just them trying to give you a wake-up call. There's a lesson in this, and we're learning it, and we know what the result of the lesson should be. And it should be a transformation of sort that you're going to make. And I can't wait for that to happen for you. I really can't. And people may be shook about that. People may be like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, what happened? What changed? Everything changed, and for the better. But there are going to be people who maybe try to make you remain the same because it was better that way, to keep you under their thumb, or just keep you below them, or at least have you thinking that you're below them when in fact you're not. Once again, I don't want to make it seem like you need to be, any type of shadow version of what is being described, such as narcissists, such as, condescending. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about knowing your worth. I'm talking about knowing self-confidence, self-esteem. I'm talking about all those things. It's just that your spirit team specifically is describing it as royalty, queenly. So that's why I keep bringing up those examples, because they're making me. So remember. Pile number 3, I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. It was a pleasure. If you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But other than that, I will catch you next time. Bye. What is up, pile number 4? This is for those who picked the green adventuring stone. We're about to find out what is your toxic trait. The cards that they gave us are the Justice card in reverse. We also have 5 of Cups. We have the Ace of Swords. We have number 1, prosperity begins. This is also the Ace of Pentacles. We also have trust. We have movement. We have number 30, the guardian and the gate. We have self-employment. And this card that we'll get into later. So, pile number 4. This is for the group in which there has not necessarily, okay, let me just say this in the most nicest way. There's been a lack of clarity, I'll say that. There's been a lack of clarity when it comes to when things happen in your life. Like, for example, I'm getting the sense for this group, it's whether you lost a job, whether you lost a car, by way of, I don't know, whatever. By way of you losing, friends, something like that, to where you don't necessarily see it as maybe an opportunity for something good to come in. It seems like your initial reaction, and maybe the reaction that you continue to stay in, is the fact that something bad is happening, and means that this is how I'm supposed to take it, and that's how I'm always going to take it. This is bad, and why did it happen to me? When instead, it should be looked at as, basically, I see why this is happening because something better is coming through. That's basically what the premise of the reading is, that when things happen to you, or a lot of the things that happen to you, they're making me feel like it's job related or career related. That it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And that's a concept that maybe you've struggled to maybe even understand or just agree with. But that is going to be pretty much the story of your life. Or at least just the, when you look back at it, you're gonna be like, you know what, when that happened, I thought that was the end. I thought when I lost my job, my career, or when I switched, field, I thought I lost everything, but it was actually the beginning. The toxic part about this, by the way, is really you are actually very connected to the divine, or you're connected. I feel like your spirit team talks to you a lot, but you don't listen. I also feel like the universe is always giving you, or at least the universe is always giving you signs that the universe has your back. But it's almost as if you don't even acknowledge it, or you just don't choose to believe it. So that's really the toxic part is I think there needs to be more of a faith, understanding of how of what's actually happening under the surface on a spiritual level. And once again, the theme I believe they're going to or the way that they're going to really showcase the remedy for this is by way of career, it feels like, with you. So let's begin. We have the Justice card in reverse. So I actually like this card in reverse as well for your case. It's because especially if it's career related, if you've lost a job recently, and I'm getting the sense this is probably a job that was either, or maybe even quit a job. It doesn't have to be something that you lost, but you can quit, got fired, doesn't matter. The point is, you don't have it anymore, right? They're telling me that it was a job that was either one, you were putting a lot of work in, but not necessarily seeing, the results of it. Like there was an imbalance when it came to that. Or this could also be you are putting a lot of work in, maybe making a lot of money or making a decent amount of money, but your joy, your fulfillment was non-existent. So if you, when losing this job, or when you in this current state, if you don't have this job anymore, this is the universe almost removing that for you so that something better can come through, so that they can actually correct the balance. This is really what has been happening. I feel like this could have been recently, but I do feel like it's a lot of that happening in your life. And there's probably many examples, like maybe you lost a friend, a relationship, and then you never actually realized that was actually, a friend that maybe never actually appreciated you, always took you for granted, never actually, even something as small as to say happy birthday to you when it's your birthday, but you always remember theirs. Like the ending of that friendship, you maybe saw as a bad thing, but then Spirit's trying to make you realize, like, yo, no, there was a lesson in that, and there's actually a more better befitting friend coming through. But this is about correcting the balance. There's an imbalance in your life. I do feel like it's probably stemming more so in your career. And so this is what Spirit is trying to connect to, or trying to help usher in. But what's happening is that it feels like you don't realize it. You don't realize that's what's actually happening. I feel like a lot of things that happen, you don't necessarily see the bright side, and you automatically tend to go pessimistic. Now, I have to tell you, you're human. So I have to kind of defend you now, because I know Spirit is kind of going in, but it's like the human experience is not easy, okay? We live in a world where, it's considered to be realistic for us to be pessimistic, and we tend to, coin it as being realistic, you know what I mean? And so sometimes it's hard to see the bigger picture, or hard to see what's happening behind the scenes. But this is something that we have to, acquire. Some people call it faith. So, Five of Cups. This is about missing something. This is about a loss. Once again, there's a lot of things that I feel like whenever something ends, you don't necessarily see it as a good thing. And life is all about endings and new beginnings. And I feel like in most cases, when something does end, it's like your world come tumbling over, or crumbling over, but you don't necessarily see that something else is being built upon it. So whatever you lost, especially when it comes to career, when it comes to any type of material things, or especially when it comes to relationships or friendships that you don't have anymore, it's a reason that was meant to happen. And we're making room for something better. And this is kind of what you have to remember, because the Ace of Swords here indicates that this is something that you have maybe a difficult time comprehending, but this is something that they want you to look at things, look at life from this type of lens and perspective. It's like Spirit is almost saying, like, we're trying to tell you without telling you exactly what's happening, or telling you what's going to happen. You have one of those type of spirit teams. I mean, pretty much all spirit teams are like this, where they like to be hush-hush about a lot of things. And in your case, I really feel like there is, part of the lesson is to establish more trust and faith in the universe and your spirit team. And so for them, it's like they're really trying to get you into, the concept of that thing. Everything happens for a reason, of course, but it may appear that when something unfortunate happens, it may appear that it's really bad, but in actuality, it's not. So this is for the people who maybe constantly tends to stay in a melancholic type of you know, mood. Someone who always who continues to stay on the pessimistic side rather than looking on the bright side. This is my half glass, my half empty glass, you know, or half, y'all know what I mean. Those type of people instead of half glass full. And that's what they're trying to have you transition. Because baby, let's get into it. We have the Ace of Pentacles here. Prosperity begins. Once again, I'm getting career related with you. I'm getting career. I'm getting like you may have lost your job, or maybe you have left your job and you've been drawn to maybe a position or a type of field that you maybe feel more passionate about and you think something that you'll be more fulfilled about. And this is being considered as the golden opportunity. And by golden opportunity, I mean the opportunity that probably you won't, basically you won't go broke ever because of this opportunity or this job or this business endeavor. Yeah, so some of you guys could have lost jobs or maybe quit your job and been feeling a little bit lost, but it's like they want you to realize and see this from the perspective that something else is coming in, something better is always coming through to replace that. And in your case, yeah, I do feel like there's something here. This could be something that you've already been working on, but never actually believe it was plausible to really continue and see it grow into something big. But I get indication that that's what's headed for you. That's what's in store for you. Next card we have is trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. This is also speak about intuition as well. But once again, it's almost as if I get the sense that you're very connected to the divine. Like I get the sense that they're around you all the time. They talk to you all the time. They always give you signs. They speak to you through your thoughts. But it's almost as if you shut them out a lot of times, or you just ignore them, or you just refuse to acknowledge. And it almost feels comfortable to just be in a sad state or angry state or a melancholic state. But this is a habit that we're going to have to rectify. Absolutely. Because once you do, it's really going to boost your progress, especially when it comes to career, because that's what they want to highlight. Your belief alone, it will be a key factor in you manifesting the life that you want. Your positive belief, your complete trust into the universe and your spirit team. Speaking of progress, we also have movement. Yeah. I almost feel like it's like a switch that needs to just be turned on in your mind. Like, yo, the universe is doing things for me. Like, that's something that always has to constantly be at the forefront whenever anything occurs in your life. And I think that's something that will also allow you to progress when it comes to whatever endeavors that you decide to pursue, whether you're a student, employee. I just feel like you do have a goal in mind, or a goal that you're meant to achieve. Absolutely. And it has to do like material type of wealth. And you're going to get that. But we just gotta establish that faith and trust. And it's hard because, like I said, you're a human. So sometimes, yeah, we may stumble but when we fall, we don't stay down. And we also have number 30. This is the garden and the gate. So for this card, once again, this card also has there's an undertone when it comes to the theme of this card about that has to do with abundance and material wealth. I almost feel like a lot of you guys feel very comfortable in where you're at when you're actually meant to achieve a lot more in life. For some of you guys, there could be a job. You may even have a job that pays well, but there's still a void that's missing that you recognize. And whether it's you having to leave another job or change another job, I feel like whatever position that you're in, whether it's you're unemployed or not, it's very comfortable for you. And you're choosing to almost ignore the void that continuously grows that needs to be filled. So there's a lot more on the outside of this gate that you need to explore. That's actually coming for you. You probably don't see it. But whatever position that you're currently in, you need to believe that there's actually more, because there is. There's one opportunity in particular that they do want to highlight. They're making me feel like celebration. So it's something that you're going to be really happy about, something worth celebrating for. And it has to do with a specific career or specific job that you've been wanting, that you feel it would be like, will establish the pinnacle of success for you. Speaking of which, we also have self-employment. So for some of you guys, that's probably what they're hinting at. A lot of you guys are going to be entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs and maybe have lost focus on the goal. Or maybe, you don't believe that it's something that is actually happening, that could actually become lucrative or have longevity, could actually be successful. The seeds were already planted, so I kind of feel like for you guys, this is something that you've already been working on. You just have yet to nurture it, water it. But the end result of what you've been dreaming about, that's something that is due for you to experience. But you have to believe that. Because I find that you maybe have the tendency, and this is probably where the toxicness comes through, the tendency to stay in this sad, melancholic state, this emo state. It's more comfortable to be in this state. The card says, by the way, you're a born entrepreneur and your business is surrounded by magical opportunities. So for example, I kind of see that for some of you guys, when you do start believing, you're going to see things happen spontaneously in regards to your career. Like for example, if this is a business endeavor, is that you guys are feel resonates with you. This could be a surge of new clients. If you're on social media, this could be a video that goes viral, a TikTok that goes viral. Because I'm asking myself now, like, that would never happen to me. Like, I keep telling myself that, and I feel like this is something that you guys constantly defeat yourself with. Like, not everyone becomes a millionaire, which is true, but it's almost as if like I can't be a millionaire. Well, not with that attitude, duh. But this is what I'm saying, is that your spirit team are saying that there's a lot in store for you. And all it takes is for you to believe and for you to actually also still put in the actions. But they're not saying it's going to be easy, but they are saying that if the success that you want to achieve will not be achieved in this type of state where you just think that you maybe have bad luck, that, you know, what is it? All the bad things happen to me. I wish I can go back to my old job, or I wish I can go back to that old friendship. No, what's done is done. That's the reason why I don't really do videos on like past relationship. Oh my God, does he miss me? I don't do videos like that. Oftentimes, if that's a message that needs to be said, then it will show up in another reading of a different title. But for me, I always have this thing where I feel like we all just need to, sometimes, you know, just a general rule of thumb, things that are in the past for a reason. And we should always adopt a positive outlook of what's to come. So that's what you need to do. The last card that we have is dun dun dun, Dagger. Fear, worries, tense situation. Yeah. That's where this comes from. So is it scary? It could be. But you do need to be courageous. I'm sorry. Like, they want me to use my example, so I will. I quit my job without having a backup as to what to do next. All I know is that I wanted to do this. YouTube or social media, or not really just that, but just really spirituality, tarot, oracle, light worker. That's what I wanted to do. And I knew that whatever job, and I found myself, the moment I realized this is when I would go to interviews, because I did attempt to get another job after my last job. I would go into interviews and I would find myself to always bring every topic, every question that they asked back to spirituality. It was just wholesome answer, and I wasn't trying to be new age, but it was just currently, that's how I felt. Like the answers that I would have said prior to this don't apply anymore. And I can't just think about this from a 3D perspective. So, and maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's my toxic trait. But my point is, I have to take that leap of faith. And for a lot of you guys, it's going to be scary, of course, but this is something that you have to do, because the rewards that lie ahead, it's going to be well worth it, and you're not going to regret doing it. Now, obviously, it could be different for everybody. Everyone has their own experience or situation that they are going through. It could be something as maybe going to a university or college that is out of state, and that's sometimes scary to leave the nest. It could be maybe ending a friendship with someone who you've grown up with, but you knew it's something that needed to be done because it's no longer healthy or it's no longer beneficial for you as you grow into the person that you are becoming. So the next chapter for you it's that of an abundant one, I feel. But it does seem like you're going to have to get yourself out of this muck, out of this rut, out of this, darkness or just low vibrational type of energy or way of thinking in order to actually see it come to fruition. Okay? So, pile number 4. I hope that you enjoy this. If you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And sorry for going a little bit longer, but I just wanted to make sure the Spirit had everything that they wanted to say to you. So I enjoyed this reading. Hopefully nobody was offended at all. It's not my intention or Spirit's intention to offend. And hopefully it's helpful. So I'll catch you guys next time.